Who is the most American UFC fighters? Today we're creating a tier list. It's almost the 4th of July, so today we're going to create a tier list to find out which fighters on the UFC roster are the most American. Alright, so the categories on this tier list are going to be Mount Rushmore, obviously, that's going to be S tier. Patriotic AF, that's going to be A tier. Represent, gotta rep the set, that's B tier. Un-American, if you're un-American, you will go here. And then we got Yeehaw MMA, which is gonna be F tier, so anybody who's like a traitor or just a slimy little worm is gonna go in this category. First up, we've got our honorable mention of the tier list. Now, you know, there's an honorable mention in just about every single video these days. It gets done almost more than my granny at a Christmas party. But with that being said, our honorable mention is going to be Herb Dean. Now, Herb Dean's obviously the GOAT of MMA reffing, so I'm going to put him in Mount Rushmore. He does nothing wrong, allows no fouls, doesn't allow shots to the back of the head. If you poke your opponent in the eyes, he actually might call off the fight. That's how serious he is about his reffing job. So Herb Dean, Mount Rushmore. Now we start with the actual tier list with Sean O'Malley. Psych! You actually thought this little rat's going in Yeehaw MMA category. The slimy little worm that he is. If I had $500 for every time Herb Dean allowed a foul, I'd be as rich as Mr. Beast right now. If Herb Dean is your referee, you better only hit shots to the back of the head. Because if you hit a front of the face shot, if you punch somebody in the front of the face while Herb Dean is your ref, you will get a point taken. So only eye pokes and back of the head shots is what Herb Dean allows. Alright, we go to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is a very patriotic American, very fun fighter, one of the best American fighters there is on the roster right now. I'm going to put Sean O'Malley in Mount Rushmore, obviously. There's only going to be, at max 4 in this category. I was so happy when he beat Amian Zahabi. I was jumping up and down, squealing like a pig. Sean O'Malley loves his country. I don't really care about his politics, to be honest. All that matters is that he's a super fun fighter to watch. Peter Yan! One of the more entertaining fighters that we have in the UFC at this moment. Also, by the way, I should say all these fighters are active fighters. I'm not placing any retired fighters on here.
Shopping for your next car? What about third row seat?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that just completely threw me off my rhythm. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, I was saying I'm not putting any old boomers up here that are retired. Okay. All right. Next fighter is obviously Justin Gaethje. Wins at the White House. He loves his country. He says he does. Might be a sellout. But politics aside, I'll put him in represent.
Shopping for your next car?
Okay. Justin Gaethje reps his country well. Very patriotic. Him staring at the declaration, reading the names at the bottom. Not the actual declaration. Very important distinction, I guess, according to Justin. If you're a casual fan of the UFC and you watch that White House card, seeing Justin Gaethje's walkout and then his performance with the win, capturing the lightweight title finally.
Shopping for your next car?
Holy shit, bro. Anyway, if you're a casual of the UFC, you love Justin's walkout, you loved his performance, it was awesome to see, very patriotic. Although what's not patriotic is his manager, so he's staying in represent. I can't move him up, maybe move him down, but I can't really do that because of his White House performance. Benoit Saint Denis is not an American, but he fights like one. Je m'appelle Benoit Saint Denis. I gotta put him in patriotic, even though he's not American. He's very patriotic as a Frenchman. So, next we've got Kayla Harrison, the dog. Got that dog in her. I would say she's just about as patriotic as Justin Gaethje, so I'm gonna put her in represent here. Not going to spend too much time on her. Still haven't got Nunes versus Harrison yet. Waiting on that. Will it ever happen? Maybe. We'll find out. Now, Sean Strickland is growing on a lot of fans right now. He's very, very American. Maybe put him in Mount Rushmore. I mean, what can be more American than blowing stuff up and shooting guns on Aiden Ross's stream? A lot of the stuff he says, he's got very pro-American, very right-wing, but not, I'm not sure how much I can say on YouTube about that, so I'll leave it at that. But Sean Strickland, one of the most patriotic fighters on the roster, has to go in Mount Rushmore, easy. Derek Lewis, the actual sitting president's favorite fighter. gets slimed out just about every single fight. He's very American. Put him in patriotic AF. It's honestly sad to see Derek Lewis's downfall because I used to be such a huge fan. I was rooting for him against Tai Tuivasa, against Cyril Gahn. He just kind of crumbled in the Gahn fight. Just fell over like the Leaning Tower of Pisa will against Tai Tuivasa. A lot of not good performances. A lot of just getting knocked out. A lot of quitting. Not a good fighter, but very patriotic. Next, we got Fluffy Hernandez coming off an L, a KO to Sean Strickland back in February, I believe. Fluffy Hernandez, I don't think I've seen him carry the American flag out on his walkouts. He's from America, but I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much, so I guess put him in un-American. I had Joaquin Buckley on here twice, so I moved him down. I got a couple of them on here twice accidentally. Joaquin Buckley is very patriotic. Actually, I don't know if he's like super patriotic, but maybe represents the right place for him. From St. Louis, maybe a Chiefs fan. What's more American than being a Kansas City Chiefs fan at the moment? 2-fight skid right now. But honestly, I think he'll bounce back. I'd love to see him get another top 10 test before they start throwing him just easy dubs. I would say he represents. He's not un-American. He talks about his country from time to time. I mean, honestly, how much more American can you get than a black male from St. Louis? Yeah, that's pretty. I think he represents the right place for him. Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman, carries the American flag out to pretty much almost every fight that he's fought, at least that I can remember. Maybe represent. He's a bit more patriotic than Joaquin. Actually, he was calling for the O'Malley fight at the White House, but I mean, he's been calling for the O'Malley fight for like 3 years now, as well as the whole MMA community. So calling out O'Malley means nothing for Sandhagen, but he did call him out for the White House fight, and he wanted to be on that card. So maybe put him in patriotic AF. That seems like a good place. B. Joe Pyfer, how much more American can you get? What a great story from his upbringing. Terrible living situation. Gets signed with the UFC. Dana buys him an apartment. Now he's a top middleweight fighter. You can't say Dana doesn't give people opportunities. Because he risked a lot on B. Joe Pyfer. B. Joe Pyfer. But does he really? I don't know if his backstory, I don't know how well that translates into being patriotic AF. So I think represents probably where B. Joe Pyfer's going to go. Michael Chandler. Conor McGregor! Michael Chandler. Conor McGregor! Bro literally shits out red, white, and blue, so I'm putting him in patriotic AF. There's not much discussion. If you know Michael Chandler, if you've heard him say even 3 words, he's one of the most patriotic dudes on the UFC roster at this moment. Man, he was fun to watch when he first came in, and he was very exciting. Beats Dan Hooker, fights for the title, almost beats Oliveira to win the lightweight strap, but just his downfall after the Ferguson knockout has just been otherworldly. It's actually crazy how many times Michael Chandler's lost after being at the top. Yeah, patriotic AF. I don't know if he can go on Mount Rushmore. Maybe. Actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna do it. I'm putting Michael Chandler Mount Rushmore. It's not about his win-loss record, okay? It's about his patriotism. Yeah, Mount Rushmore for Michael Chandler. There you go. Cyril Gahn, no more cereal, is not an American, obviously. Another bonjour, je m'appelle Cyril Gahn. He won the heavyweight strap at the White House, in the White House lawn. So, and he's got one of the American belts, which Pereira should have had. So should Ilya, but I'm over it. I'm over it. It's you know what? This guy's a slimy little worm. He's going in Yeehaw MMA. Peyton Talbot, pretty American. Actually, you know what? It's not about politics, guys. If you've seen any of his interviews or YouTube videos, well, his YouTube videos are trippy though. Just his mentality and the energy that he carries off, the vibes he gives off. I think patriotic AF is where he has to go. Peyton Talbot. Ethan Ewing is the contender destroyer. So I heard he pulled out of the on the McGregor card. He's supposed to be fighting on the McGregor card, but Ethan Ewing, that is, he pulled out. Apparently, I heard that somewhere. Don't know how true that is, but hopefully not. Hopefully he's fighting. Money Moik. We got the Money Moicano. Another Moicano probably has to go. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna put Money Moicano in Mount Rushmore. So that's the 4 for Mount Rushmore. Actually, I don't know. Because Bryce Mitchell's still there. I'd say Bryce Mitchell's more than he is. Just to make room for Bryce Mitchell, I'm gonna put Money Moicano in Patriotic AF. Bryce Mitchell obviously has to go in Mount Rushmore. Somehow, Bryce Mitchell is even more further right than Sean Strickland, actually. You know about Bryce Mitchell. I don't need to tell you guys. Although, I don't think Bryce Mitchell's that bad of a dude. If you know, you know. We got T-Dog, Terrence McKinney. One of the most entertaining fighters. Maybe not one of the best fighters, but one of the most entertaining fighters. Putting him in represent. Very fun fight style. He either knocks you out in the first minute or gets knocked out in the first minute. Stoppable force. Very stoppable force. T-Dog. Mr. Jerome Blessed Holloway. You know, Max Holloway, bro's always talking about Hawaii, Ninth Island, red, white, and blue Hawaiian shorts on, so I'd have to put him in patriotic AF. Mount Rushmore's filled up, and I don't think he meets the criteria for being one of the most American fighters in the UFC right now. Maybe he is more than O'Malley, but O'Malley's my GOAT, so I'm keeping Holloway there. Bosif Pickle, he's pretty patriotic. He's another one of Dana's friends' favorite fighters, which is why he got White House treatment and maybe UFC 300 treatment as well. Was he on the Sphere? I don't think he was on the Sphere. I can't remember him. I don't think so. I can't imagine Dana put an American at the Sphere besides this guy. Brendan Allen has sold out this country. I'm going to put him in un-American. Actually, you know what? I gotta put him in. Probably represent. I'm not a big fan of the guy. I don't really care about him. Don't really like him. I don't hate him. Yeah, I don't hate Brendan Allen. I just don't like him. So I want to put him lower, but I can't do that. He is pretty American. Well, actually, his manager and who he's teammates with. So yeah, I'm putting Brendan Allen in un-American. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're not from America, that's totally fine. I'm not shitting on you from not being from America. But this is an American tier list, so you know what? Maybe that doesn't matter too much. He himself, Brendan Allen himself, is actually very American despite his manager and his teammates who he trains with. I wouldn't say that really matters here, actually, so gotta put him in, gotta represent. Aljo's pretty American. We'll put him in represent. I'd like to see him fight for the title soon. Brandon Royval, what a dog this guy is. Unfortunate his losing streak that he's on at the moment. He'll bounce back, though. I gotta put him in represent. He's not AF and he's not un-American, so represent for Brandon Royval. King Green, Bobby Green. Okay, so Bobby Green is fighting T-Dog Terrence McKinney at on the McGregor card. Is literally the stoppable force meets movable object. So represent. He's not AF. Yeah, put him in there. So the movable object Bobby Green here is gonna go and represent. I think. I think that's a good place for him. Tracy Cortez. All right, now what's more American than Tracy Cortez? If you know, you know. I'll put her in patriotic AF, even though apparently she's annoying according to Pereira and Brian Ortega. I should have had Brian Ortega on this list. Anyway, Tracy Cortez, very American. Love watching her fights. Is going in patriotic AF. So this is Gable Stevenson. I'm not quite sure yet. I have literally no knowledge about Gable except for the fact that he's a wrestling champion. So I think maybe put him in represent. I don't know how American he is. He could be evil for all I know. I have no idea. So at the moment in time, he's going in represent. Gable Stevenson fighting on the McGregor card here. Not very many un-Americans here. I thought there would be more un-Americans. Yeah, so there you go. This is the tier list. You guys agree with it? Disagree? Let me know. Or don't. I don't care. Happy 4th of July. Thanks for watching and have a very blessed day.